ìlú tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe ìlú, àmọ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n ti fẹ́ accept reality. Bó pẹ́ bóyá the reality will be done, and àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ accept reality yẹn, they will have no other option than to. Torí pé expectation ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lórí Nigeria, it will disappoint them along the line. It is just coming up to 3:21 a.m. as we take you through reasons again why we should allow Nigeria to go. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a very good morning and welcome to the transmission. It does not matter how long it will take. The damage has been done already in Nigeria. Could I see what if you rectify it? Because nobody's going to be able to rectify a failed sovereignty. Nigeria is a failed sovereignty, and the expectation that anything will change anytime soon is all lies. Everybody knows nothing is going to change. But a lot of our èèyàn can't feel or can't be just maybe something will change, and it will eventually bring the kind of peace to one in Nigeria. That is not going to happen, and that will be something that would eventually kill so many people. Today, that expectation is very, very high. Mokiwalen can see at exactly 3:22 a.m., where I will take you through why Nigeria should not be a country you should expect too much from. This expectation is going to disappoint you in the long run. So you are better off to get the fact now before it is too late. Ó ti disappoint a generation kan, and it is not going to make our own generation a better place. This expectation that Nigeria will be the country. Good morning to those of you that have joined the transmission. The expectation by so many Nigerians that it will become a great place for every single one of us, because Nigeria is a failed nation. And this is the reason why we continue to highlight and educate many of you. I understand that many of you will not want to accept the truth, because truth could be very, very bitter. But that does not stop people like us from explaining the truth to you. I know that the generation hope is that things will change, and that will literally mean that whatever tea and Sonny Bugba, it will not come to pass. But everybody knows it's going to come to pass. It's just that everybody is waiting for when exactly these our talk that Nigeria is not going to work. So many people are waiting for when exactly it's going to happen. But it is already happening in our lifetime. I mean, You just have to look around and ask yourself the truth. My name is Olayomi Koiki of Koikimedia, one out of so many Yorubas that believe that for the sake of peace that everybody is asking for, the sovereignty of Nigeria presently must now be reviewed so that we can be able to move what we are forward. Tí a bá ti allow kí yẹn kó ṣẹlẹ̀, then the danger is still going to be with us. But we should allow Nigeria to dissolve now as quickly as possible, because it is holding many people backwards. It is not going to give you what you expect. The expectation of many Nigerians is that things will change in due course. Opportunity will be given as Nigerians, that people will have opportunity. But as these comes in mind and in play, disappointment will start kicking in. Maybe not today, maybe not even the next few more years. But I want to see what you are disappointed. Mostly are like our parents. Most of our parents have been disappointed in what is called the Project Nigeria. Many of them worked hard in the hope that the country they were giving birth to, the expectation was very high. People like our parents, especially those that their parents are still alive, to tell them that Nigeria really disappointed them a lot. But many of our people today will still disagree that Nigeria is not going to disappoint them. And that is why you see them trying to fix a political party that care less about whether your life will be a better place. That is why so many people will end up voting, and you will not get the dividends of governance in your local government. Nigeria has 774 local governments, and each of these local government is not functioning because the expectation from Nigerian is that it's going to fix their problem. And this is why we are highlighting the Yoruba sovereignty as against the Nigeria sovereignty. The Nigerian sovereignty has gone past its due date, and it is not likely to work anymore. Whether we like that word that it is not going to work, which a lot of Yoruba people and many Nigerians do not want to accept the truth, does not literally mean that we cannot live together as neighbors. But many Nigerians believe that, especially the elite, their expectation is that Nigeria would come back as a very powerful nation, and it will be a major player in the global community. I was told the same thing, even told that Betwe is the food basket of Nigeria, only for us now to realize that is a great lie, because the food basket was also the biggest terrorist depot that so many Nigerians eventually lost their lives. So if you're still of these opinion, view, that the greatness of Nigeria is coming. Remember that that is the British artificial state. I understand that the British is not going to tell you that because their views will be different from ours, especially knowing that we are becoming much more engaged with our people back home. These dreams that Nigerians are waiting for, the new Nigeria, as some of your religious centers have been telling you, all these is going to disappoint you. Just as my mom, your parents, your grandparents were all disappointed. I was having a conversation with my mom on Saturday as mother to son. And she was telling me that the last order she did before my dad passed on in the 80s was equivalent to $60,000 with Filtex. Some of you might know that is if your parents are in the clothing industry, buying from I think Australia. So no, sorry, Austria. Filtex is like a company that produce the textile that our parent and your parents will put on, but some people have to go and buy it because even as at that time, Nigeria was not producing anything. So that literally means that our parents have to travel to outside Nigeria, láti lọ ra àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n tà, which is still the same thing happening today. Because Nigeria is not producing anything. We've told you that so many times. The consumer are Nigerians, but the producer are the West. Few things are produced in Nigeria, but when we look at the large proportion of what we need as people on a daily basis, most of these things will not be produced in Nigeria up to the crude oil that we own, but we are not the producer of the crude oil. So that literally means that we have good amount of crude oil across Nigeria, but we do not have the refinery to make it up and running. And that has become strenuous because it is sucking the wealth that should be used to develop the communities, to develop Nigerians, your skills, to provide the basic amenities of life, electricity, healthcare, education, to give you just a little bit of hope. So many Nigerians are expecting that the hope would happen. It does not matter whatever we are saying, because you have a political party that is in care of the failed country called Nigeria. But the difference that we are asking for is that we want the Yoruba sovereignty to happen, and to happen very, very fast, so that we can develop the spirit in us, so that we can be able to provide the services that this country called Nigeria could not provide for you, depending on your age bracket. For the last 40 years, it has always been my parents that have taken care of me before I left Nigeria some 25 years ago. So that means while I was in Nigeria for a very long time, I was never given opportunity to be taken care of in Nigeria, not even up to when I was sick. I mean, some of us had the privilege to a private hospital, but majority don't have that access today. And that is the reason why we have asked the question, what actually is the role of this entity called Nigeria? Kí ni iṣẹ́ tí ẹ gangan? Iṣẹ́ wo gan lẹ kí Nigeria ṣe fún yín? Iṣẹ́ wo gangan ni Nigeria gbà? And when I say that, I talk about everything from your political parties to those in charge of the day-to-day affairs of what is called Nigeria. This narrative has been going on for decades, but till date, we still don't have a clear answer apart from the fact that every 4 years since 1999, billions and billions of naira is pumped into the campaign trail, which end up to be the jamboree that we see. And after that jamboree, as we can see now, everything is gone quiet. And Nigerians are asking question again, what is going on? Why is the economy not going back on track? Even those that expect the economy to come back will be eventually disappointed, because these expectation that the economy is going to bounce back is too late. The economy of Nigeria is not going to bounce back. It is the late night for those that are still awake and those that will watch it later on as well. I do not have a time to tell you I'm coming out. When you're live with me, you will be able to watch. And when you come back, you would also be able to watch it later. But for now, sorry, I've actually messed up something here. Okay. Mokibuwa, as I always say, and I welcome you once again. Yoruba nation that we are campaigning and we are asking for is the right opportunity to change the narratives of what we have been told for 60 years in terms of the failed country that was put together as a project. Nigeria is a project, and everybody will continue to do whatever they like to do within that project. They can try so many things, from pharmaceutical testing to using Nigerians as experts around the world. That means that I will come and need you, just like I am currently living and residing here in UK, where I have in the last 25 years. So that means the energy and the strength that I should have put into Nigeria as a citizen, I am using that outside Nigeria presently. And I don't think some of you understand that. Let me rephrase that. Gbogbo akitiyan tèmi ṣe nínú UK for 25 years. That inú Nigeria ló yẹ kí n ti máa ṣe tó bá jẹ́ pé Nigeria ń ṣiṣẹ́. That means ó yẹ kí n ṣe tán ní university. That's even if I go to university, because going to university doesn't mean anything anyway. Because we realized that only after we got to Europe, that most of our they are not university graduates. They are not even college graduates. Some of them are just off the radar, came to work, and they became managers than those of us like the university degree, Danny. So going to university is just to educate yourself if you can afford it. But what they've done in the UK is a complete different thing entirely. They've allowed what are called work experience become much better than in Tolosa University. And we've seen that anyway in Nigeria. Many of you have graduated, but you don't have any jobs till date. You are still struggling. So, and the reason for that is because that sovereignty that you call Nigeria, which is mean that is not truly a sovereign nation, is a nation with multiple different nations, whether it's 3 or 4, 5, 8, 10 nations put together. So our mentality, our thinking is not going to allow the functionality of Nigeria. That is why everyone is we are marginalizing each other. The hatred is there. You can't take away the hatred. Even the English hate the Scottish, and I am not joking. The Scottish hate the Welsh. It is just human being. But is it possible to live together in the course of the hatred? Maybe, to some extent. I have been following some of the English nationalities. The English, and when I say the English, I want to just be pure English. They are becoming frustrated with the amount of immigrants that wants to penetrate into their society, their community, and they are protesting against it every day to their government. And their government is responding bit by bit. And that is the reason why the immigration law is changing almost every month. One of the priorities of the UK government when it comes to immigration is to make sure that those that will come to UK must have a genuine reason to get into this country. And that led to the Prime Minister about 72 hours ago telling us that there will be increase in the UK visa fees, not for Nigeria alone, but for global community around the world. The reason for that is because, well, if anybody call us UK, if you're going to make it to UK, like I have made it in 25 years, they want the best of Nigerians that can do magic. And we have them a lot. And I'll give you an example that I got a bit of information about another Nigerian from Ogun State performing wonders in the UK in the NHS. He's a surgeon. And I think from what I was told yesterday, he has only arrived in this country very, very less time, not like somebody like me, but he's well qualified before he left Nigeria, because many Nigerians are well qualified, overqualified. A lot of you have what the British need, but not every one of us. Those in the rural areas, the British don't need you, but they want me to bring the NGO to you to sort out the little I can in terms of the SDG code or the SDG, as we are being told by the United Nations. Yeah, the SDG goals. Maybe some of you don't know that. I'll remind you again. This is what the British expect me to be doing so that I can help my community in Ijebu-Ode, in any part of Yoruba land, rather than asking for a Yoruba sovereign nation. Because if I'm able to give you the one out of the 17 SDG goals, that literally means that I am performing humanitarian support. I don't see that as a way out to the current crisis in Nigeria. The British expect me to set up a charity. If I'm able to get funding from the British government, even as small as £10,000, I could bring that to any community within Nigeria, especially the Northeast, which the West thinks that is the only part of Nigeria that is in abject poverty. Maybe they are not aware that in my local government in Fidipote, there is more Nigerians, Yorubas, that cannot eat 3 square meals. But because the West are projected that the Northwest, the Northeast is the only crisis, even economy walawa, and that literally means that they want us to fund more into that sector. And I can easily set up a charity here because I have the right to live in this country. I am going to be different from you that wants to get in today, whether through business, visa, visiting, student. Until you have a full residential permit, there are certain things you can do and you cannot do in this country. But I could set up a business and call it Koikimedia Charity, register it in UK, then request for funding from the British government. And I will give them that I need that fund, láti fi supporti Fidipote. And they will look at it, and if it's worth approving, they will approve it. But do you think that that can solve the current state of situation to one in Nigeria presently? The West believe that that is the only way we can help you in terms of what the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals expect. Some of you will never, till you die, and it's not a curse, you will not enjoy the 17 SDG goals. Not even one of them, the major part, you will never. I know it's a little bit harsh, but it is the reality. Your government will tell you they are trying based on the current economic situation of things around the world. And we can understand the world is currently full of stress economic-wise. Inflation is not just alone in Nigeria. For those of you that probably don't know, inflation is affecting Turkey. Maybe you don't know that. The lira in Turkey continue to depreciate on a daily basis. Nigerians are probably not seeing that, but Nigerians that are operating for one reason or the other from Turkey will tell you that the lira is actually going down faster than the economy of the Turkish government or the Turkey economy. Remember that Turkey, as an example, quote and unquote, also is still a powerful country around the world with a population presently of somewhere around, as at 2021, Turkey is just under 85 million with 84.78 million people. But do you know that they can still afford bread? Maybe some of you don't know that. I've been there before, and I have people that live there. So one thing some of you don't understand is that as their money, Owo Turkey, which is called lira, L-I-R-A, is going down too fast, but they can still afford to go out and buy bread. Let me then ask the question, and I'm not talking about one person. Every person in Turkey, poor, rich, middle class, average, they can afford the bread. 2 years ago, the bread was just under 1 lira. Today, the same bread is costing almost 6 lira. And the size of that loaf of bread is almost like this. It's like that. My question is that èèyàn mélòó ní Nigeria tó jẹ́ tálákà ló lè jẹ bread? That is part of the SDG goals, because the SDG goal, which I'm going to read all the 17 quickly, and I want you to take notes. is what the United Nations expect you as a citizen of any country around the world to be provided by your government. But because Nigeria is not the kind of country that everybody thinks it is, these 17 goals is not going to happen in our lifetime in Nigeria. These 17 goals, tí mo fẹ́ kà yìí, títí tó máa fi jáde láyé nínú Nigeria ò ní bá pàdé, is not a cause. Some of you will probably just about elevate a little bit, not too much. Because before I read that, I was listening to Baba Ropori yesterday, and his guest said exactly the same thing I discuss here every day. Baba tí wọ́n gbé wá sórí program yẹn ní ìyàwó òun ní di 1,500 naira láti fi jẹun every blessed day. If you do not have these, equivalent to less than $2, which the United Nations expect, you need 2 of these. $2, equivalent to 1,005. Kò pé 2,000 gone. Probably by the time we look at the exchange rate today, dollar is about 800 or thereabout. So you need about 1,006. So let's even factor that you need 2,000 naira. Tó o bá ti lè nílé lójoojúmọ́, Monday to Sunday, not for anything but just to eat, count yourself as people in abject poverty in Nigeria. Get this clear. I am not talking about pé kò ní 10,000 naira lẹ́nìí. Kó dọ̀là kí 10,000 yẹn ti tán, but kò má wá rí 1,005 yọ nínú ẹ̀. You must have these 1,500 naira, equivalent to 2 of these dollars, for 365 days. Now, your government is meant to cover the cost of making sure that not everybody will be able to afford to do $2. Government yìí láti support, make sure that they can provide some of these SDG goals. Number 1, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. I'll try to do some explanation on each one of them as much as I can based on my knowledge. When the word you hear end poverty, do you think that Nigeria can end poverty in the space of 4 years of this government? Not that we hate this government, not that we have anything against the government. This government is not the only cause of the damage of Nigeria. It has been caused since 1999. It has been like that since 1960. It has been like that prior before the 1914 amalgamation. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ expect me, this miracle because one man that looks like me and you, which in reality, if we look at each one of us, you can see that the new person as a government literally looks like us. He speaks like us because that's what we want. We want somebody that speaks like us and don't sort of be what. Some of you probably get tired with me speaking English sometimes because like, if you're Yoruba nation, you don't say English for our boy. So Yoruba kagbon koton so. Because I am just like you. Some of you are not even comfortable watching any other program because you feel like this is the program that you can watch. After say on air, you will just go another place. Literally, we feel the same way. I'm asking the question again. In 2023, up to 20 days for the next 4 years of this government, you need just this, about 1,005. Do you think that you can afford it? Ask yourself that question. You don't have to tell me. If you can afford it for the next 4 years, every blessed day, you are not going to be part of the people I'm talking to. But this is not the only thing that we're talking about now. That is just again one out of the other issues. This is just for food. By the time you now want to educate yourself, you're not going to need 1,005. You need a lot of money to educate yourself. In Nigeria, I mean, if I'm going to educate myself here, I don't need a lot of money. I just need to know that the services to support my education is there, whether through the loan, whether through grant, whether through even online reading, free education. There are a lot of free education online, but you will not be able to do exactly what I can do, subject to a lot of other restrictions that I will talk about in the course of the program. So if you think that when I say, can you survive in the next 4 years, we should survive, I am not talking about oúnjẹ nìkan. At some point, as human beings, we are meant to break down. At some point, there will be other situations that would arise, whether you have a children or not, whether you have elderly person or not. You would also need a good, healthy situation. Can you guarantee that to be sick, Laroy, you can walk into your general hospital and you will be treated without asking to pay for registration fee? I have not added that to the 1,005. That is why you, as Nigerians, you have been put into the capital poverty of the world. Maybe you don't know that. We have 195 countries ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Nigeria ni number 1 tí ó jẹ́ ibi tí kò sí àṣeyọrí in terms of poverty wise. O lè máa rí tán náà ń kọ́ building kan, wọ́n ń kọ́ hospital kan, wọ́n tún títì ṣe, wọ́n ṣe this, wọ́n ṣe that. That does not imply that the country has been removed from the capital poverty of the world. It's a fact. It does not matter the miracle and the presentation, the analysis taking place on the political terrain on the ground. It does not matter how many Oyinbo people you see on your TV telling you it will be better. They have not removed Nigeria from the capital poverty of the world. And some of the reason is, again, let's go into the 17 goals. Number 1, you must end poverty in all its forms and everywhere. Number 2, very, very key. Number 2, ìgangan ló ń dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ lénìí. Ló dẹ̀ máa dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ lọ́la. Forget about pé lórúkọ Jésù kò ní dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Inshallah kò ní dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Wàhálà yẹn ti wà already. Kò dẹ̀ likely kó kúrò nínú ẹ̀. Má ní òun praise eléyìí. Kò ń ṣe tí yóò praise. It is just the normal norm that is going to happen. You will feel it. You will touch it. You would all expect it to remain the same because the economy of Nigeria is dead. Number 2, end hunger. Ẹ̀pa ebi múnú àbí ká pa ebi. A lot of you don't know what is hunger. That is why you will not listen to Yoruba Nation, because àwọn tó fi sínú ògo yẹn, they are very, very smart. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá wà nínú ìyà, tẹ́mi bá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀, kò ní sinking, torí pé o gbọ́dọ̀ lọ bá wọn láàárọ̀ yìí, tílẹ̀ bá mọ́, kó fún ẹ ní 1,000, kò lè fi jẹun lọ́dọ̀ mama put. Tó bá ti jẹ yẹn tán, tó ní strength díẹ̀, wàá lọ ṣe bí ọmọ ọ̀tá níta. Ẹlòmíì lọ sọ́fíìsì, a lọ ṣe ṣìnà. Ẹlòmíì lọ sọ́fíìsì bó ṣe máa jalè. Ẹlòmíì lọ sọ́fíìsì bó ṣe máa yíwèé oníwèé. Ẹlòmíì wà ní bank, ó mọ diaspora tó lówó nínú account, ó wá bó ṣe fẹ́ gbé owó yẹn jáde. Ẹlòmíì wà, ó fẹ́ gé orí yín, ó fẹ́ ta ní 45,000 naira. Ẹlòmíì wà, ó fẹ́ gun mọ́tò, but ó fẹ́ jalè fi gbà ni. So this kind of atrocity is happening because any stability, any stable system to only solve hunger. I know that for me to solve the hunger in my house tomorrow morning, which is just under 3 hours from now, my wife has already told me the time to Los Ibishela. Yes, my wife goes to work. I am a freelance journalist. That means I spend most of my time indoor. But when I need to report or be outdoor, I'm sure some of you see me. So that means within this household, there's 2 people working. That brings in one revenue. But it can't fire sílẹ̀ fún iṣẹ́ Yoruba nation. So the revenue to make have been restricted to some extent. I don't have a problem with that. I know my worth. If I was meant to go and apply, they might not give me the job that I want straight away, but I penetrate wọlé from the back. Mo lè lọ sí BBC, kí ni mo fi máa ṣiṣẹ́ kitchen porter. They will get me in. From there, I will start bit by bit. I penetrate. You might not see me on their big screen, but I'll be within the service that I'll be making probably about 25,000, 30,000 pounds a year. And if I want to do extra job, my log by motor Uber, my fish weekend, my fish role, I get 2 jobs. If I am actually go line, my dasi fidipote, tí kò sí ná, tí kò sí security, torí pé mo fẹ́ kọ́lé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ilé bàbá mi. Torí nígbà tí bàbá mi kọ́lé yẹn ní fidipote, expectation ni pé ibẹ̀ yẹn máa develop. Almost 40 years, fidipote ti develop. Bàbá mi ti kú nísìn. Expectation bàbá mi ni pé government máa gbé títì dé ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀ so that kò ní jẹ́ pé òun nìkan ni olówó láàrin àwọn olòṣì ní fidipote. That is the same rhetoric that people are still doing as diaspora. Ẹ lọ kọ́lé sáàrin àwọn tálákà. Wọ́n á máa wo náà ní ilé ẹ̀tì ẹnìkan pé ìwọ nìkan ló níná, ìwọ nìkan lébi ò pa, and they will start dealing with you. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí from wherever you're watching the program. So these narratives then continue to spread across Yoruba land. Ẹni tó bá ráyè ìjàpá, tó bá ti gòkè díẹ̀, á padà lọ sílé, á lọ tẹ̀ sí wọn lójú. Tó bá máa fi tẹ̀ sí wọn lójú bí ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì, tó bá máa fi padà dé bíbá, wàá complain pé inú run ẹ́, wàá dé hospital, wàá gbé sí be the best MIR. Wọ́n ní rí nǹkan tó ṣe torí pé wọ́n ti sàṣẹ láti ilé. That is what is happening. Torí pé nígbà tí wọ́n lọ́lé, number 2 SDG goal, which is end hunger, ó ti lọ tẹ̀ sí wọn lójú nílé. Ẹni tó ráyè jàpá, tó jẹ́ pé níwọ̀nba kékeré tó ní tó manage, ìyá lágbájá ẹ ṣe fún mi ní gààrí, wọ́n fún ẹ lénìí. Ó lọ lọ́la, ẹ fún mi ní gààrí, wọ́n tún fún ẹ. Nígbà tó bá fi délẹ̀ kẹta, àtàwọn ṣe á ní kí ló dé? Àpò kan tá gbé wọlé àti fẹ́ jẹjẹ tán. Ẹni tó sọ fún yẹn á bínú torí pé ebi tó ń pa kò expect pé kò sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sóhun. Kò dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé government gangan ní responsibility ẹ̀. Magí tó ń gbà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ neighbor ẹ̀, gàrí, ẹ̀wà tó ń gbà yẹn, it is not my neighbor doesn't have to come and knock my door láti béèrè fún bread. I don't think I've ever had my neighbor knock on my door and say, ṣé mo ní iyọ̀ nínú ilé? Òun nídìí iyọ̀. I understand we have a culture where we like, iyọ̀ kò, no, normally ó yẹ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé iyọ̀ ti tán nínú ilé tiẹ̀, wà lọ ra iyọ̀ yẹn. So this is what is also causing a lot of friction within what is called the context of Nigeria today. Many of you knows this, but are oversighted. Tí yọ̀ bá tẹ̀ tán, okay, your Friday, that Walata was here, we sat down. Mo ní kí ìyàwó mi, mo ní kí la máa jẹ, torí tí Walata bá ti dé, a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹun. It's not somebody that comes to this house and we don't eat. And we eat together in the same plate. Ìyàwó mi náà máa ṣe rice. Pé but kò sẹ́yìn nílé. Mo ní kò sẹ́yìn kẹ̀. Mo ní Walata ṣó fẹ́ jẹyin, ó náà fẹ́ jẹyin. Mo ní dà. Diaspora, money, which is true. Some of you think that because we sit here, you think that, but boy, you work on what account, especially because you dirty mind people, you expect that because we are sitting here, there's a kind of huge amount of money. I am losing money every blessed day. I've lost so much money in the last 2 years, but I'm not concerned. My name is better than the money because we are not going to be here forever anyway. We are all dead person in the next 200 years. My name will be part of the name that will be remembered for a very long time. And for me, that is big. Awolowo ti kú nísìn àṣẹ̀dárúkọ ẹ̀. Tèmi náà bá ti kú in 200 years. Wọ́n á máa dárúkọ mi. So, bẹ́ẹ̀mi náà ṣe máa ń rí Winston Churchill èrè ẹ̀. Do you know that the great-great-grandchildren are still happy that their great-grandfather did a project? Àwọn Mandela, inú wọn máa dùn. And that for me is enough. Doesn't mean that we don't need money. Mo wà account mi mo rí pé wọ́n ṣe ní change kékeré. Wàhálà ó jábọ́ sí títì. Ká lọ rẹyìn. Ìyá ẹ̀ ti ń dáná. Mo gbọ́dọ̀ tún rán òun lọ rẹyìn. I will pop into the high street. I bought the egg. At the Iceland, àwọn yẹn ti close. We walk to Lidl. Ara ẹyin, mo mú mílíkì ẹyọ kan. Wàhálà náà fẹ́ mílíkì méjì ló yá mu. Mo ṣe lè bẹ afford yẹn, kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó pọ̀. At least ìwọ náà ṣáà ti jó epo mọ́tò láti wá kí mi nílé. Ìwọ náà mo mú sardine mẹ́ta. Ṣé o mọ̀ pé sardine yẹn nínú ẹ̀ ni ìyàwó mi fi dé ẹyin fẹ́mi nìkan lánàá? Kò tẹ́ iṣẹ́ yín, ó ṣe ọbẹ̀ ata. Ṣòro mọ̀ pé mo like sardine, òun dẹ̀ like sardine. So why am I explaining this is that hunger, which is the number 2 of the SDG goal, is creating friction for our Yoruba because you now expect me to take care of you in Nigeria. You expect those in Nigeria that has a little bit to take care of you when actually it is meant to be the system. Lẹ́kọ́ take care àwọn tí wọ́n ní or àwọn tó fẹ́ ní tí wọ́n níṣẹ́. As a graduate, you have completed a university, but you are still wondering what you're going to start doing. Ṣé o mọ̀ pé ọmọ tó bí sí ìlú by 22, ó pẹ́ jù 23, ó ti wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́. Kódà, kò bá jẹ́ the basic job. Àfọmọ tó bá ti ready, àkọ́kọ́ ṣeré holiday káàkiri náà. But èyí tó bá ti ready, ó ti ṣetán ní university by 23, ó ti wà níbi iṣẹ́. Ibi iṣẹ́ ẹ̀ ló máa wà, wá máa sanwó oṣù fún. Gbogbo tí mo wá ṣe analysis just a few minutes ago, a ní owó lọ́wọ́, which is the pounds táwa ná ní bíbá. Nínú ẹ̀, tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ lóṣù, tó gba 1,000 pounds, roughly. Ó bá sanwó ilé, because most of them wants to live on their own, especially at that age. As against you, wants to stay with your parents at the age of 40. You are not ready to go. Not that you don't want to go. You can't afford the face my face you ní Òṣòdì. Torí price yẹn ti lọ sókè, torí pé àárín ibẹ̀ yẹn ti dé ọjà. Not that Nigerian is still not bubbling, life is still going on. But the poverty is in. All right, Mabinu, not sure what is going on with my network. Seems that there's a glitch somewhere. So let's see if we can connect this. I've actually turned on my hotspot just temporarily to. Not sure if they're doing any update, but it seems that we are back. Yeah, for now we're using you see, that's I don't know, I can see that my router either is updating itself. I don't know what is going on, but it has actually gone orange. But right now, I can still be live a little bit because I am now using my network, my mobile network as a transmitter. That is again part of what we are saying. Even laptop may not connect more. This phone in the connection, phone on power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 device plus this Odimefa. this phone on a TikTok. This is part of what we are saying to you. I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, my transmission is still live. They want to update because we expect making our awakening or whatever. I don't know. But this is part of why we are saying you have a danger in that country. Let's come back. So while we continue to educate you all, my name again is Olami Koiki. Shout out to those of you. Let me quickly say good morning to those of you that have joined us so that Kama Fejo Painre, Kunle Bakers, a very good morning and shout out to you, my brother. How you doing? I love you too much. Sister Gbemeleke, good morning to you. Chief Obalori Bode Fasuyi Mokinsa, Onfiti Otawa Mofiki, Oluomo Adedeji, good morning. Sadiq Adekunle, good morning. Adesanwo Balogun, good morning. Abdullahi, United Arab Emirates, my brother. Akambi, Pankere Oro, wow. Oto Jameta, Babawa, Shalafia Lewasa. I keep seeing your videos. Olabandroti. Yawa Titi Aderinto, good morning, and thank you so much. Well, I slept very early, soon before 9. So that I calculated 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 hours. So I do sleep. I slept before 9 yesterday. So, I'm not sure why this one is closed. Okay, I can understand. Sometimes phone man play out. So let's connect the Twitter back again. Who is there again? Mr. David Adegoke, thank you so much for the call the other day. Adroti Bubua, Adroti conversation there were from me now the other day. Mrs. Tokwe, good morning. Triple DRS, good morning. Abebi, good morning. Victoria Tokun, good morning. Good morning to our Biafra brothers and sisters. Grandma Elizabeth Adesanya, good morning. Mukia Martins, the Koikimedia backend team, good morning to you. Moki Lekiti, Moki Nekwara, good morning. Shaku, good morning. Waris Jinodu. Before I move into the next one, Mr. Tony Ibrahim, good morning, sir. Yeah, I think that's about it from there. Let me appreciate those of you on the Facebook quickly. Moki Biafra. Oh, okay. I think I lost because it was too late before I started it. So let me start back the Facebook. We actually lost the Facebook because Motete connected, hotspot me, and even the Wi-Fi is back. So I don't know what happened there. But like I said, they do a lot of updates. So it might be the Facebook actually disconnected. So I have to start it all over again. So bear with me so that we can start that. I think the MixLR is still holding. The Facebook actually stopped. Wi-Fi and data, so it could just be an update, which is necessary. So I'm not sure what happened there was. So let me start the Facebook back. So let's start that again. All right, so we're back on again. Yeah. So once again, thank you so much to those of you that have joined us so far as we, I appreciate that. So I am talking about the 17 SDG goals of the United Nations. It is coming up to 15 minutes past 4 a.m. London, England, United Kingdom, where I am currently based. And here we are back on the Facebook. So my hotspot now will reduce and the Wi-Fi picks up the transmission. It's fine. So let me come back here. Once again, good morning to those that are still with me. Good morning to those of you on the Twitter as well. An appreciation to you all for listening to us all the time. So, most of Nigeria and the Yoruba nation sovereignty. Mr. Olonrewaju, good morning. So I'm going to stop the good morning, so that we can focus and go back into the conversation. So the number 2 SDG goal, the number 2 SDG goal is end hunger, AB, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Let's explain that a little bit further. Even the government presently today have declared food, is it emergency or whatever? Yeah, Nigeria food security. There's now food security, because any country that doesn't have security, Nigeria declare state of emergency on food security. That is the SDG goal number 2. I'm reading now from the VOA News, and I'll share that with us as I have it here. It says Nigerian authorities declare state of emergency on food security. It is necessary. It is important, because presently no one can feed themselves anymore. Not that we don't have the land, Anile, but what we are facing is the terrorism that have taken over our land. So terrorism have taken over. Oh, I didn't even remember that 3 years ago, yesterday, was Tolulokpa Rotile. I don't know, I forgot that. I'm sure. I'm not going to pay more the vet there, because she's dead. We give her the honor. No, she actually died on the 14th. Tolulokpa died on the 14th of July 2020. 3 years is gone. That is the Nigeria. That is the country called Nigeria. Sorry, I can't bring anybody in. It's too early hours in the morning, and I don't want the voice to go more control voice in, because people are sleeping upstairs. So maybe some other time, bear with me, but not this morning. So maybe some other time. Let us just listen. Tolulokpe was only 24 years old when she was killed by the failed nation called Nigeria. The first helicopter combat pilot. Oh yeah, definitely you have opportunity to talk. We're still getting to use with the TikTok. You know, we're new to that. I know people bring people in to talk and all that. There will be a lot of interactive. Am I worried? Can assure you that. The most important thing is that we're on it now. And I've dedicated a particular phone for the TikTok. So, am I worried? So, Tolulokpe is a flying officer, and life was ended in the contraction country you call Nigeria. I'm sure Tolulokpe had a dream, just like many Nigerians still have the dream. Should we blame her for having believed in Nigeria? No. My parents believe in Nigeria. My mom told me that after the death of my father, and then the last order after that, or before that rather, before my father died in 1980, my mom's last order was $60,000. Ọjà tó rà pẹ̀lú Filtex. I'm sure àwọn tó bá ń raṣọ àbáwọn tó ń raṣọ ọmọ ọmọ ẹni tí mò ń sọ yẹn lára àwọn company tí mo sì náà máa ń bá rajà nìyẹn. Filtex. $60,000 in 1980. I'm sure you know what that means in today's currency. That is a lot of money. King only $60,000, not over politics, not over politician, as we are saying today. These are what our parents are known for, hard working. And within that context, like I was explaining, it is only now that I know that some people say, Koiki, you repeat the same thing all the time. It's because our people to Ambassador, we got to continue to repeat it. You know, continue make a feedback and repeat the same thing all the time. There's nothing wrong in that. It's just to get the clarity of importance of how you. Because if not, they will not. Okay, Mighty, good morning. Mrs. Taiwo Kike, good morning. It is only here that you will not go to your neighbor and ask for salt. It's either you eat that food without a salt or you pop onto the high street and buy the salt. And that again takes us back into, once again, welcome back those of you on the Facebook. Emma Binu, Olanikbekun, good morning. We lost the transmission due to some update. Mokimomi wa Sarah Oyelowo, Mokimomi wa Oyebumino, and the rest of you that were there before the transmission cut out. Emma Binu, Lato Domini, Konjebo flag or anything. I don't even believe in all that anyway, because our caller network down low. So they can do anything they want at any time. They've restricted our message. I know that. Nobody needs to tell me that, because we have a huge followership on Facebook. But Facebook continues to pin it down so that the message doesn't travel. They said we have violated some of their community rules and all that, which is understandable, but that's not going to stop me talking. Even if they close all my platform, I can do videos and upload it, and people will upload it on my behalf. We're still talking about number 2. And the number 2, Kolon Foriji, Tolulokparo Tele, Kolon Foriji, the 29,000 Yoruba people that have died in the last 8 years of the sadist called Muhammadu Buhari, dead or alive, anyway, doesn't make any difference to me. Food security, Monsonipa, food security. Food security is very, very important. But do you know that deliberately, some people within and outside Nigeria created the monster that could not allow you to have food? So today, your government have decided to declare state of emergency. How Tinubu is going to do that? Okay, Tolulope would have been 27 years today if she was alive. That is the kind of career Timon's in the UK. Tolulope in the UK. Even if she's going, Monsor ni surgeon can finish area. Mommy me kolon shalai for me near now. If we go into area between Yawa so that he might expose too much. She is a surgeon, one of my Jebuni. Gbogbo ṣe the UK kò tí pẹ́. Wọ́n máa ń búkẹ̀ láti inú ilé ẹ̀ kó wá ṣe operation fún àwọn èèyàn lọ́spítù. Wọ́n ní tó bá dúró tí woman yẹn rí ni kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n sọ fún wọn, because woman yẹn wà àwọn obìnrin ni wọ́n máa operate. Àwọn obìnrin bí atọ́ ní issue pẹ̀lú pé wọ́n fi bímọ. Wọ́n náà máa ń búkẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó dé Louis ó ti ra ilé ẹyọ kan. In tó lè ṣe ní Nigeria. So we've lost one person that is meant to be a surgeon in Nigeria. Láti máa bá wọn gba ẹ̀bi àwọn ọmọ abẹni tó fẹ́ bímọ tó ní issue àwọn obìnrin internally. Ẹni ẹ ti wà ní UK. Wọ́n ní UK tó ti dé tó ti pé 1 year or probably 2 years or so, I don't know. I think kò ti pé 2 years gone. Ó ti ra ilé. Kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n sọ fún woman yẹn wà nínú tíátà pẹ̀lú wọn ni. Wọ́n náwọn òyìnbó tó dúró tì lẹ́yìn nígbà tó bá fẹ́ operate. Àwọn sọ fún pé ẹni tó fẹ́ operate yẹn àwọn làwọn dúró fún bí ẹni bí màmá ìyẹn woman náà nílùú yìí àbí obìnrin náà. Làwọn fi meet arákùnrin yẹn wọ́n náà mọ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú ni wọ́n máa ń pè wọ́n máa búkẹ̀ láti inú ilé ẹ̀ ní àti sọ́jọ́ wọn náà àwọn òyìnbó tó tò sí so wọ́n wá ń sọ so many things tó rí nínú tíátà yẹn pé ìlú yìí no though they have their own issues but they will still make sure that àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé ikú Ọlọ́run nìkan ló máa pa ẹ́ UK will go to any length so that you don't die. It might not be as it used to be even some 30 years ago. Found parents who are to be Mosibi Hospital, Lomartin Hospital, Chase Farm Hospital, North Middlesex, Queens, and all that. Things have also changed. And erotic so stress not to NHS. But notwithstanding, they are still going to take care of you. Whether oníwèé or níwèé. Àìmọye lómi tó kọ́ra wọlé àìsàn kan ló ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ìyà kẹlẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. This young man tó sọ yìí wọ́n ní tó bá nígbà nínú tíátà táwọn rí yẹn wọ́n nígbà táwọn sọ fún pé ọmọ àwọn ní arábìnrin yẹn kò jọ ẹ̀mọ̀ bá bàbá ṣe máa ń ṣe kò jọ pé kó má jẹ́ kí oníkéni ó náà ti ṣe more than 10 or something lẹ́ni already ó ti di some of you are probably still shocked that bàbá yóò ti sùn ni it's built in ìyàwó mi mọ̀ kó mo ti sọ kalẹ̀ bí a ní sí ní that's why I don't want to raise too much voice bí a kọ́ máa gbọ́ pé bàbá yóò ti tún ti dìde it's built in tí bá ń lọ síbi iṣẹ́ nísìnyí ṣe mo ní dìde ni tó bá yẹ pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ resume ní 5 o'clock time tí máa dìde náà ni mo dìde kò mo ṣáà gbọ́dọ̀ wẹ̀ tí n bá tẹ̀lé jẹun kúrò mo dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ because torí pé ilẹ̀ ti ṣú tí n bá dẹ̀ drive mo gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ night bus tí mo fi mọ̀ why am I explaining all this because normal life tó yẹ kẹ́ máa gbé náà lélẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan tó special if the system have been built to work ìdí tí ẹ ṣe ń suffer ni pé tí hunger ṣe wà food security ok ẹlòmíì ní farm kékeré tí yẹ ẹ fún ẹlòmíì ra ilẹ̀ yìí ni ẹlòmíì jogún ẹ̀ ni kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ lè ṣe farming kí ló dé tí ẹ lè lọ sóko láti lọ dá oko so that kí oúnjẹ tẹ́ fi jẹ yẹn kó lè fún yín ní nutrition balanced diet is because the agenda is to make sure that Southwest will grow oúnjẹ bọ̀kọ́ máa kó oúnjẹ wá láti òkè ọya why must we wait for àwọn tó ń bọ̀ lókè ọya àwọn nìkan wá fún wa ní oúnjẹ tábà tí rí tòmátò Haúsá ẹlòmíì gan tó máa ń lọ sọ́jà tó bá rí lọ́dọ̀ Yorùbá ṣé tòmátò àwọn málà lélẹ̀ why must it be tòmátò málà kí ló dé táwa náà lè and we are doing it because aṣáájú àwọn àlùkà níjọ́ kan tó lọ sí mọ̀mọ́bí tó lọ tó show basket of tomatoes ó yẹ kó ń jẹ́ surplus káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni torí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló jà ológun sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú àwọn tó kù but nítorí pé agenda kan wà wò ó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ẹ rí oúnjẹ jẹ ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ti rí oúnjẹ jẹ automatically ẹni tó bá ti rí oúnjẹ jẹ you automatically become a species tó fẹ́ jẹ̀yàn máa ṣàlàyé fún ẹ ó jí láàárọ̀ yìí nísìnyí ó jẹun àárọ̀ ó jẹ tọ̀sán ó jẹ tàbí tó máa fi dalẹ̀ anything ló máa jẹ kódà o lè jí anything láti fi jẹun because oúnjẹ ṣe pàtàkì nígbésí ayé ènìyàn oúnjẹ tẹ bá tẹ ń ṣe àwẹ̀ ìjọ mẹ́fà ìjọ méje tẹ bá máa fi sọ̀kalẹ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹun even if it's water ìgbà mi wọ́n lè ní àwẹ̀ funfun ẹ má fi iyọ̀ sí oúnjẹ nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ I'm sure àwọn tó jẹ́ that religion understand nǹkan tí mo mean but bẹ́ẹ̀ bá 40 days náà ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹun náà ni ó kọ́ yẹ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa jẹun yẹn intake yẹn kò gbọ́dọ̀ fast ju bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ti fi sílẹ̀ lọ with the last 40 days àṣà ń gbọ́ táwọn pastor ń sọ náà pé tó bá gbàwẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹun ìyẹn ok ó fẹ́ gbàwẹ̀ for life tó ní máa jẹun kò possible you will not be able to sustain and you will not be able to live. So the SDG goal number 2, after that, so number 1, we call end the poverty. Nigeria cannot end poverty within the next 4 years. Though we know that government is continuity, but do you think that they've really prepared or they are working towards ending poverty in Nigeria? I don't think so. It is not a sovereignty. It is a multiple of nation put together. And before we go away from number 2, maybe I should tell you the full meaning of sovereignty. Sovereignty, according to the English Oxford Dictionary, is a supreme power or authority. That is what the Yoruba people are asking for. Supreme power. So that we can be able to have the total control. Èyí tí a ní nísìn tí gbogbo wa tá à ń rí bẹni tó jọ wá, which is the current government, kò ń ṣe total control. It is only a limited timing ló wà lára ẹ̀. Tó bá yẹ pé government tó wà ń bẹ̀ nísìn, ó máa wà ń bẹ̀ tó bá tún ṣe tán ọmọ Yorùbá ló máa bọ́ sí, tó bá ṣe tán ọmọ Yorùbá ló máa bọ́ sí. Maybe we could even be say like, okay, we'll answer from Yoruba nation. Ká ṣe ní sùúrù díẹ̀ náà. But torí pé a mọ̀ pé ó ní timing tó tún wá ní yẹn, by the time tóun bá ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yẹn tán, which he's trying to do in his own capacity anyway. Not that we are promoting it. I don't care, because at the end of the day, whatever he does, it will be destroyed by the North by the time they come back. That is the difference between a sovereignty. So your government presently right now is representing you under a very limited timing. Is going to put in all his efforts. He will try all his best. He will bring in experts, even corrupt people. They will be there. And like I always say to my wife, let them enjoy it now. The North have enjoyed it as well. But that will not remove Nigeria from the from the capital poverty of the world. Nigeria will still remain in that bracket, because the projection that we are seeing does not say that Nigeria will be removed in the next 4 years. And the reason for that is an average Nigeria cannot afford $2, which is one of these, $2, equivalent to 1,005. Which is a little bit more anyway. Because dollar is about 800 naira, if not a little bit more. As at yesterday, pound sterling was 1,065. Tó bá fẹ́ ṣe padà wá sí UK is 1,070. Tí bá fẹ́ ra net, tí bá fẹ́ send naira láti lé wá síbí. And I'll give you what it is, because I get quotation all the time. So yesterday, if you send in, I just want to put this on my notepad as well. So yesterday was the 17th. So let's start from here. To buy 200,000 naira land on in Nigeria. Take note of this. 200K. We always say 200K. That's the right what we use. Oma Fuani 187 pounds. Feniton Shekwadawa. 5 naira on top. But Feniton send the Losile is 1,065. So let me use my calculator and see what that comes up. So tell me about if you send that same 187 but again times 1,065. That gives me 199. So you've lost again about, so 195, 199, 155. So we'll lose about 1,000 naira. because àwọn tó ń ṣòwò yẹn náà gbọ́dọ̀ jèrè. This is what we are facing, and we are still in the early stage of this government, and the naira already is stressed. And the reason to show us stressed ni pé agriculture sector tí àwọn tó lò ní regional government tá a fi máa ń gbọ́ wọ́n kọ́ cocoa house, owó kòkó lọ́lò, àti lè ṣe yẹn in the last 24 years of this government. And when I say this government, I am not pointing to this particular government. I'm taking it to the PDP, which, well, they're all the same because they keep moving like, Ashewo, move blah, blah, blah. So in 24 years, I did perfect sustainable agriculture. Nítorí pé wọ́n da terrorist sínú society tó ń penetrate gbogbo yín, tó ń deal pẹ̀lú yín directly. Ẹlòmíà ní èmi ò gbé ní ibi tó ti máa jí mi gbé, but you are already buying higher price in the foodstuff nínú ilé ẹ̀, whether in Lagos, in Ọ̀yọ́. Not everybody will be prone to ẹlòmíà travel money sin. So any security ó wà secured torí pé òun ò ní kọjá síbi tí terrorism àti jí òun gbé. But ó ti gbàgbé pé it's the same terrorist that is making your food price to go up. Because if we have Benue, Plateau State, that is being destroyed daily by the terrorists because they cannot provide sustainable agriculture according to the SDG goal number 2. Tó bá dẹ̀ mọ̀ tán pè ní SDG goal. Tó bá mọ̀ tán pè bẹ́ẹ̀, right? Let me explain that again to you. According to the United Nations. The United Nations Football for the Goal is a United Nations initiative that provides a platform for the global football community to engage with and advocate for the sustainable development goals. Tó bá tẹ̀ gbọ́ wítẹ́lẹ̀, at least omonton pè ní development. Many Nigerians is expecting that it really might develop. That was what they told my mom until my mom left. She was even explaining to me up to the exchange rate. Tí onígbà tí popsi mi kú táwọn padà wá sí UK. No, táwọn fẹ́ lọ gba ọjà wọn. Dollar yẹn ó ti fluctuate. Futex, as at the time, àwọn méjèèjì láti jọ agree lórí rate táwọn fi fún ní deposit àwọn kó bá wọn ṣaṣọ. Torí pé rate yẹn ti change ní dollar rate. Tó bá tà fáwọn ní rate tó yí dollar jẹ́ nígbà yẹn, àwọn máa lose, òun náà máa lose. So they have to come into an agreement so that wọ́n lè gba ọjà wọn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, because Futex ó máa deposit owó fún kó tó ṣọjà fún ẹni. Báwọn mọ̀ sí tèmi ṣe operate nìyẹn pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. And like I said, our last order, ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, was $60,000 kó tó di pé popsi mi kú ní 1980. $60,000 in 1980. Do you think is a joke? So, if we have enough foodstuff in Nigeria, we could have been doing what I call export of such. One share export, but not to the percentage of even surviving the forex. And the reason why you don't have dollar in Nigeria in terms of the kilomant, but not dollar tí reserve. Can reserve I think it's less than $50 billion anyway. Let me see. Nigeria reserve, foreign reserve, foreign, F-R-F-O-R-E-N. Yeah, Nigeria foreign reserve. Let's see what our foreign reserve is. Let's go to news. What a complete mess. According to the Daily Post, May 20, 2023, by Ogaga Aremu, Nigerian foreign reserve rise to $36 million. Nigerian foreign reserves increased to $36/624 million as at 15th of May 2023 from 36 million. The development comes amid the continued fall of the naira days against the dollar. Months ago, Nigerian foreign exchange reserves decreased to $36.7 million in February 2023, compared with $37 million in the previous month. Foreign exchange reserves, listen to this, foreign exchange reserves, really sexy, good morning, are assets held on reserve by a monetary authority in foreign currency, which is in these. It influences the foreign exchange rate of its currency and maintain confidence in the financial markets. Let me explain it to the layman. I was even thinking it's more than that. Let me check. Let's say something. Amazon. Let me go and see how much Amazon is worth. Amazon. How much is it worth? Do you know that Amazon is an organization that delivers parcel around the world, not in the shit old country called Nigeria? Excuse me. Because Nigeria is not a country, but it operates in many countries across the globe. Amazon, as at 3 days ago, is worth 1377.97 billion US dollars. That is Amazon, an organization. Do you understand what I'm saying? Amazon is not a country. So even Amazon can set up a country of its own. Because if they can operate around the world properly, with due diligence, that is their worth. How come a country like Nigeria is not worth more than Amazon? So Amazon lower to Nigeria law. Because I don't think Amazon is richer than America as a country, possible. So why then is Amazon having enough than Nigeria? Let's go back to the sustainable goal, number 2, which we are still currently being held on. Because that number 2 means a lot to many Nigerians this morning. End hunger. Tinubu will end hunger even if he gives you 8,000 naira from 30 million Nigerians in abject poverty. But Nigeria doesn't have that kind of money to disburse. Not that we don't have it, but if they attempt it, it will collapse more country quicker than expected. So many Nigerians do not know that Nigeria is collapsed. They can feel it, but in Tomanja Coffee, they still have a country because they wake up and they still see the horn of the Okada, the horn of the downfall, the craziness, the government speaking, Elomia see the paper, but literally you are worse off than 30 years ago, just like Venezuela. Venezuela has huge amount of crude oil, if not more than Nigeria, but they've been worse off more than 20 years back. So it has become survival to the fittest in the context of what is called Nigeria. Everybody's just trying to survive. It's just coming up to 5 a.m. Everyone is just trying to survive. Rafiu, good morning. Danilo Ide, good morning. Good morning, Omodamilari, and the rest of you that have joined along the line. This is Koikimedia Live. As I continue to explain the reason why Nigeria is not going to work. The expectation of Nigerians is that Nigeria will be a great place. That was what my mom thought as well, until she realized that it was not worth it. That was what as many people thought, until we realized that it is not worth it. But many Nigerians are still thinking that it is worth it. And that is why you see them on the social media fighting the wrong fight, trying to say politics will solve the problem with a new political party, with this and that. But what they have not really told you is that it is not one country. It is the multiple of nations put together by the British in 1914. I know some of you don't like to hear that. You're thinking that it has nothing to do with the British anymore. Fair enough. But let's go back to where we were prior before the 1914 amalgamation that locked the potential of so many of you that have now kept you below par, that you cannot afford $2 Monday to Friday, 365 days in a year, that you cannot have the basic amenities of life. That takes me straight to number 3, which is the most important thing. We've seen that all the time. A lot of you go into asking for one support or the other. And it's not your fault. It's just that the country have not factored you more tí wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú. Don't blame yourself or your family or your friend for not coming to your aid. Some of you think that tó bá sick, tó bá ti pe Koikimedia, ó gbọ́dọ̀ respond sí. That is not my job. I am not a country. I am not your government. The responsibility of your government is to make sure that the number 3, Timothy Soy, àwọn ni wọ́n wà in charge. Tí government yín ò bá ti lè take care yín to that extent of what it says to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. From the day one that you have been born in the society called Nigeria, what has been the health of your people within you, surrounding you? Ǹjẹ́ èèyàn kan fẹsẹ̀ gúngò nínú ilé, ẹgbẹ̀dẹ̀ hospital, or take care? Not that we don't have the experts, but the experts are now becoming stressed and they are moving out of Nigeria. Just like I told you about a surgeon from Ijebu tó ti wà ní UK, tó yẹ kó wà ní Nigeria, kó sanwó dáadáa fún, kó lè fún wa ní opportunity Number 3 of the United Nations Development Goals says the Nigerian government must ensure healthy lives. Part of the healthy lives is that I don't expect to see anybody to fit talk, to call your moral sita, to bear talk. That is not a healthy life. Somebody must be ready to discharge people. So what if you do another, hopefully we can talk about the programming. Remember, single truck. That is the bin man. That is the job. There is to pick up this rubbish. Because the rubbish in about the quoting poor, for káàkiri cost the government more money láti tọ́jú health care wa ní community. That is why somebody must be paid if they can do the job and trained and given safety outfits. And their job is to come before 6 o'clock, pick up the rubbish, remove it away from the community. This community will be in danger, whether modeni, agbalagba. Our body immune is different. My body immune is different from ọmọ kókó tó ṣẹ̀ bí. Tọ́mọ kókó tó ṣẹ̀ bí bá wà ládùúgbò yìí tí wọ́n bá kó ilé àdúgbò yìí for the next 3 days, eṣinṣin tó bá bà wọnú ilé ọmọ kókó yẹn, tó bá bà lórí nǹkan kan tọ́mọ kókó yẹn bá lọ jẹ, ọmọ kókó yẹn lè kú. So this is the reason why health is not about odigba tẹ́ sick. We must prevent it. That is what I say. Prevention is better than cure. Ìyẹn máa ń prevent nǹkan kó tó di pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀. Nigeria is not preventing anything until it becomes a problem. You go to all our markets, you realize that kò jẹ́ kó wà ní state of ibi tó wà yẹn is because kò sí sustainable development kankan níbẹ̀. We must understand that kò ń ṣe ó dìgbà tó bá ń accident là ń sọ. I'm talking about the basic to the fact that ilẹ̀ tẹ́ lò ní agbègbè yín, ilẹ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí nísìn, tá a bá dànù latest by tomorrow for whatever reason, tó bá máa fi di ọ̀túnla, ó ti di danger. That means pé a ti endanger life wa, not nítorí pé ìyá kan sàsí mi, nítorí pé my stupidity as the father of this house should know that I should remove the bin so that they will not be in danger. Good morning, Mr. Clement. Babatunde Ajayi, good morning. Good morning to those of you on the IG and those joining us on the TikTok, and likewise the Twitter. So the number 3 of these United Nations SDG goal is to say to your government, provide or ensure healthy lives and promote well-being. Kí ló ń pè ní well-being? A lot of time you see people abroad, we look fresh, we look cool. It's the well-being. Does not really mean that we have everything that we want as well. But as long as you are not going over your coat, the reason why you have to go over your coat is that your well-being is that ilé tó bá gbà ní Nigeria lénìí, whether ní Ìkòyí, ní Banana Island, or ní slum yìí, you must make sure that it has a gate outside or burglary proof. These windows do not have any burglary proof. So you are already endangering your life, because each time I go to Nigeria, I get scared and worried that should anything happen We've locked ourselves in this house to the extent that we are in prison. You might not even find the key, and you might end up dying with your own hand. Your well-being does not mean that you have to be rich. Your well-being is that while you are sleeping, there should be a security to take care of your community. And there should be a super head, which is the one that makes sure that by the time Tobafelosi Okola Roy, nobody kills you. Tobafelosi Oja, you do not get to be in danger because Titi to Ekoshe, Tiwoshe, Toba Crosse Olijabo. I was watching a video on Twitter yesterday, and I was looking at the vehicles plying the road with a lot of water. And the people in those vehicles feel so comfortable. I have traveled in such condition as well in Nigeria. You probably just say, you know what, that is the only option you have. Your well-being will not be there in the next 4 years. It's not a cause. Let's go to number 4 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Number 4, ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promote a lifelong learning. Learning is not university. Learning is just even a day training. I got to know that in UK, that you can do a 1-hour course and is much more valuable than a university degree. And I'll give an example. If you're going to work in the healthcare sector or food industry, precisely, not healthcare, which I did for a very long time, health and safety is much more important than your university degree. Because if you have a university degree, when you don't have health and safety course, and the health and safety course is just a day course, anyone can do it, or organization can send you to go and do it, which I did attend a lot. Sometimes I say, Mr. Koiki, you'll be going for a training, so you don't have to come to work tomorrow. Your training address is there. Just go there, spend a whole day, enjoy it. We saw last year, Buhari locked down your university for 8 months. Does not mean it's over yet. In the history of Nigeria till date, you are not guaranteed, apart from maybe the private university now, you are not guaranteed that you complete your course in the 8 years or 4 years or the 3 years of the time to fellowship course here. So if you enroll into University of Lagos to study medicine, you will not complete that course in the actual timing. Even though we are meant to be saying that Tobaje sovereignty tiwalawa, Yoruba la mafima korawani eko, not the English. Because if you go to Chinese, or China rather, the China education sector is in Chinese. They are not using English. Gbogbo ìwé tó ń tà ní Turkey is not in English, probably maybe few, but èyí tó máa fi kọ́ wọn ní school yàtọ̀ sí school tó bá jẹ́ international school, then they will teach them English, but they will teach them in Turkish, and the books is written in Turkish language. So why then do we not want to have a similar pattern of a sovereignty of Yoruba country? From the primary to the secondary, to the university, to the tertiary, to the workplace, to the training. But nobody wants that. We want to have a Nigeria where English, that is a borrowed language that was forced on us to be used. But do you know that the same English country that I am presently living, you will need an English exam to arrive here as a student. As a student that study in English in Nigeria. Number 4, ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promote a lifelong learning. Number 5, achieved gender equality and empower all women and girls. You can ask yourself whether this is happening in Nigeria or not. She won't empower him. I know there was a loan that Tinubu wants to get. Let me see if I can pull that out. It's to empower. It's a new loan that they're going to give Tinubu. Loan for women empowerment. Empowerment Fund Nigeria. Because that loan is for that particular purpose. Yeah, and I got it right. Maybe some of you don't know. I'll share this with you because sometimes when I speak, we speak with fact. This is meant to be part of the SDG goal. That is why Tinubu will be given this loan. Whether Tinubu will use that loan, okay, I'm just picking Channels Television 12 hours ago. We'll come back to that. Femi Falana is saying that the 70 billion as a palliative is palliative of 110 billion for the NAS member is illegal, contemptuous. That's what they'll be saying all the time. You know, all these our lawyers, they will just be talking. We expect somebody like them to say, you know what, this country is not working. It's not a sovereignty. But they're not going to say that because these are your elites within the society. So I want to say is the dissolution or the sovereignty of Yoruba nation is the best. He's doing very well, at least to his own capacity. I'm talking about Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria. We'll come back to him later. Let's focus on the SDG goal. So every day you see them come and talk on the TV. It's the same thing they've been saying anyway. Femi Falana has been saying this thing for the last 24 years of the corrupt country called Nigeria. And they all know that Nigeria is not going to work. You can say Afe Babalola, 60 years in the law firm, blah, blah, blah. How does that help Yoruba people? What difference does it make if you have spent 60 decades or 6 decades in the law firm? All these are the rhetorics. And one new opportunity to some extent, you will not get that same opportunity like Femi Falana. You will not get that same opportunity like Afe Babalola. But the same people are not going to do exactly what I'm doing because they will just be part of the analyst. Just like come out. Hey, can we get you on China's television today? Okay, no problem. What time? 6 o'clock. Okay, I look at my diary. Okay, I'll be available. And they will talk. They go. And the same is what is the same rhetoric is going on for 24 years. Because the same thing that Falana has been saying for 24 years is still happening in Nigeria. But is relevant while you are not relevant under the SDG goal. So let me share that with you again. So if you look at the link I've just shared, the number Mukimamiwa Grace Senior JP, good morning and welcome to the live transmission. Ekarama. Ajayi Matthew, good morning. So, as in sort of the sovereignty of Yoruba people out of what is called Nigeria. My name is Olami Koiki, and this is a Koikimedia. This is live transmission, 6 minutes past 5 a.m. It is the 17th of July, 2023. Because we had a cut in transmission, I wouldn't have known exactly how much we've done so far. Mokiyami Omolara Yabo Ajala, good morning. Alan Condi, good morning. And once again, Adekunle Ali, good morning. And the rest of you that have joined us. Opolopo might not understand that money given to the country is on the SDG goal. And the one that I'm about to tell you right now is linked to we're talking about number 5. So this number 5 says, gender equality and empower all the women and girls. And I told you that I knew I saw the headline, even if I didn't read everything 3 weeks ago. Let me now read the headline and read a little bit so that a little link a little more SDG goal number 4, because fresh loan to often is for that purpose. Okay, so don't think that you will have access to that money. Okay, maybe your wife, maybe your girlfriend. Good morning to those of you also on the TikTok. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. So 3 weeks ago precisely, June 27, 2023, according to the channel's television, which I've posted on the timeline for those of you on Facebook and YouTube, World Bank approves a fresh, it's not free, okay? It's a loan. Whether your government use it purposely, faithfully, we have to pay back for the loan. They are not giving it to Nigeria for free. There's a percentage. These have now been added to the previous loan that Nigeria is owing to the tune of almost $40 billion. That's what Nigeria is owing. It would take, did I say 40 billion? No, I think it's more than that. I was going to say, from estimate, it will take about 40 something years before we can even pay the loan. At the moment, we're just servicing the debt. Maybe you don't know what that means. Human service motorway, to ban understanding the servicing of your vehicle. That's what we are doing. Interest lashing son in Nigeria. Tinubu cannot pay off the debt. No government can pay off the debt. Good morning, Mr. Lushola on the TikTok. So let's read further quickly anyway. The World Bank has approved a fresh $500 million loan for Nigeria. Good morning, Just Reason. World Bank said the scale-up financing will further support the government of Nigeria to invest in improving the livelihood of women in Nigeria. So this is linked to the SDG goal number 4, achieve gender equality and empower all the women and girls. When you look at the $500 million, do you know that if you, any one of you watching me in Nigeria, plus those outside Nigeria, do you know that you can set up a company if Nigeria was truly working and you work for as a person, you can have that $500 million. I'm sure you know that. If truly Nigeria was meant to be for us, as we have been told, you can set up any company and it's worth 500 million, either through shares buying or through your own fund in whatever years you've been able to do the business. But the reason why you don't have such and you are not going to get such is because, again, the system that we all expect. Because I go back again to my mom. If my mom was doing what of $60,000 of business in the 80s, how much do you think I would be doing with her if the business was still continuity? We'll be talking about probably about $1 million, because if Iyato Bimilo Mobile Mashi business in 1980, I told you that my mom has been traveling before I was born in the 70s. But today, A lot of you are even just seeing this from the screen. Ẹlòmíì tí mo bówó ìṣeré gan lọ́wọ́. Báwo ni dọ́là ṣe máa rí? Size ẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí náírà when you look at it. You can see that this one is a little bit smaller, maybe almost the same. Let's see. Likely no, definitely not. Ìyàtọ̀ nìyẹn. So Nigeria ó tóbi jùlọ díẹ̀, ó kò tóbi gbigidi ní. So tó bá wo bí ṣe line ẹ̀, ṣó rí pé ó ṣì ní space ní bíbá, space ní. So it is not how big, it is how we can transform from big to small and impact our lives. A lot of you think that your life will be impacted in that 500 million. You're joking. Just as you've heard the one before. Loan, nobody can tell because so the World Bank has approved a fresh $500 million loan for the federal government of Nigeria. For what reason? To help improve the livelihood of women in Nigeria. There's nothing wrong in that. Improve life in all I need. But is this government going to be genuinely, even if Tinubu has the genuine heart, for the purpose, this money will then be disbursed from local government to the state governor. I don't know how they're going to divide it. I don't know who is going to be in charge. But we know definitely that if snake doesn't swallow it, tortoise will move with the money. And this same money that is a loan end up in another country and it becomes another money for them to use. While those of you that the government have borrowed the money on behalf do not have access to the money, but every Nigerian must pay back the loan. Do you know that we all have to pay for all this loan? It's not a gift. I don't think some of you understand the danger we are in. You might think that we are joking, that it's not going to happen. The country is already in inflation already. But if you feel it, that it's a matter of time. You will all feel it. And by the time you all feel it, you'll be asking questions and there will not be anybody to answer. Number 6, very, very important. I'm sure you know the importance of this. Every water in Nigeria can be brought to a situation to be cleanable for drinking. It doesn't matter how dirty the water is. The technology is there now. What if in Kokosinomie, within 1 hour, you can drink that water? The technology is there. So the number 6, good morning once again to Mace Gold, Just Reason, and the rest of you that have joined. Waris, thank you so much. These water, omi ṣefela loko, omi water, kò sẹ́ni tó lè bá ṣe, kò sẹ́ni tó lè bá yànbá omi ṣọ̀tá, òun ló sọ. If you don't drink these, maximum, I don't know how long, your body intake. If this does not flow in your body, I don't know. I am not into health. But I know that tó bá máa fi dé stage after 7 days, tó bá ń gbààwẹ̀ gan, tó mọ mi, tó di 40 days, tó mọ mi, I'll be the 60 days. Or mama pass omi esare ni. Omi olota. Omi ten way is the number 6 of the SDG goal. Ensure. The word ensure means work bodo. It does not matter how. Tó bá ti ń gbọ́ ensure, E-N-S-U-R-E, ensure access to water and sanitation for all. My question this morning is, in 24 years of democracy in Nigeria, can you, don't tell me, you, in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, can you say that water is accessible for everybody? I'm not talking about even in Southwest. Let me even add the remaining part of Nigeria. Show me what accessible. Are you sure that the water that you're taking every day is clean? Or you're just like, go back from any cholera, go back from any diarrhea. Some of us eat in mama put. I do as well. I love it. I'm on don fi sonje tó bá ṣá ti jẹ a máa wọ́n jẹ lójoojúmọ́ ni. Ìyẹn lè ṣe máa ń dákà jẹ nílé. Whether genuinely those food are just sweet or because of our own mentality of bí àwọn ti fi nǹkan kan sí tó fi ń fa èrò. We've seen all these. We know. Mọ́mọ́ yẹn lẹ́yìn mi jẹ ní Thomas. Bí a kọ́ jẹ ìyá tó ń ṣe yẹn, ó mọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀ dáadáa. But nígbà tí àyẹn kú tán, àwọn ọmọ ọmọwọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n ti wọnú ibì kan, wọ́n fún wọn ní kankan, wọ́n fi ń fẹ́ èrò. I don't know. Bí a rice ten ra ní Ìkẹjà tó máa ràn sí yín lójú tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀. But we've seen a lot of that, some are genuine while some are not. But let's just put it for argument's sake that it's genuine. Do you know that the water that they are preparing those food from, they are not clean? But who cares? Let's just eat and walk out. By the time you eat and walk out, you go back to number 3, ensure healthy lives. You are not having a healthy life because utiloja puka. Buka tiko clean. Oti jendomi, what ti dín o gbádùn, o dùn lẹ́nu nígbà tó ń jẹ yẹn, but o máa fún ẹ ní problem ní number 3. Health of your life will not be taken care by the government. And I'll give you an example. In tó bá ti mú ẹ sọ pé o fẹ́ ṣe oúnjẹ nílùú òfin máa tà, that means pé you now have the duty of care. These programs end at exactly 6 o'clock, if not a little bit less than that. Anyway, I'll try and move a little bit swiftly so that we can finish this SDG goal. Do you know that selling a food in this country, your responsibility becomes triple because of the intake of an automatic journey bed? You are not expected to serve food in the United Kingdom where the environment, the water, the staff, everything that will give the hygiene of the facility must be put in place. Training of the staff. How many of our ibiteti ló ń jẹun ní búkà yẹn ló ní food and hygiene certificate? Àbí akọ̀wé pé náà kò necessary. How many of them have a good toilet? Tẹ́ bá jẹun tán, tẹ́ bá wọnú toilet wọn, ṣé wà to the standard? These are a lot nílẹ̀ Yoruba. So you can see where there will be no development. Whether you eat even in a restaurant or you eat in mama puts, àbí tí wọ́n gbé wá sádùúgbò yín tó kiri wá tó kọ̀rántí ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ọmọ preparation ẹ̀, it could become endanger to your life. These are all the reasons. So táwọn Yorùbá ní kí ni reasons that you fẹ́ kó lórí gba Yorùbá nation? They are thinking that it's about Fulani tó ń pa wá nìkan. No. Mama put ń pa yín lójoojúmọ́, but ẹ mọ̀. ìyàtọ̀ tá a kàn ṣe ń rí ti Fúlàní ni pé ó ń wá sórí screen. But do you know how many people have died of food poisoning in Nigeria or in the Southwest for the negligence of things that should have been resolved by the local government? The job of the local government òun ni pé kó sọ fún yín pé ibi báyìí a ti sọ fún wọn pé oṣù kan la fún wọn, tọ́rọ̀ bá ti ṣe ń ta fẹ́ kó ṣe a máa ti pa finally. But development yẹn ti dé stage yẹn. Àmàlà tó lọ ń rà nìbàdàn torí ẹ láìkì àmàlà gan, omi wo ló mọ̀ tó fi ń ṣe, ṣé omi kànga ni àbí omi ẹ̀rọ tí kò clean? Because we know that the public water is no longer functioning as it used to be in the 70s and 60s. Let's move to the next one. Number 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Tinubu is talking about a new law to be passed. Again, it's something I picked up. So let's talk about, I know I might not understand how it is put, but by the time I Google it, it will help me. Electricity. Good morning once again. Electricity. Yeah. Electricity. There's a law that Tinubu just signed as a presidential whatever electricity law. Let me just put it that way and type Nigeria, then something will pop up. Yeah. On the 19th of June, 2023, there's what I call 6 things to know about the new electricity law. And this again will link to number 7 of the SDG goal. Let me first read what I have here, then I'll open the business day and I'll talk about it briefly. The Act requires electricity generating firms to create power from renewable energy sources, purchase power generated from renewable energy, or purchase any instrument representing renewable energy generation. In addition, the Act requires distribution or supply licenses to meet renewable purchase obligation. So let's go now and read a little bit further. According to this day, 6 things to know about the new electricity law. Abubakar Ibrahim, June 19, 2023. I'm going to be very, very swift. President Bola Tinubu have signed the Electricity Bill 2021, converting it into an act of the National Assembly of Nigeria on June 9, 2023. What does it mean for a layman like you that is asking, kí ló dé tí mo níná? Kí ló dé tí wọ́n níná nílùú kan táwọn níná? Kí ló dé tí Benin Republic need 24 hours electricity, even though it is very high cost? Electricity is not cheap, not even here in the UK. Cost of living has gone up, but it is there, it is available, but you have to also think about whether you can become part of those that want to have solar. I was listening to, again, in Baba Rupori yesterday. We have a lot of engineers in Nigeria. Most of you call yourself engineer, but you're not building solar panel. Rather, you want to export it from China, India, countries that are producing them in vast, and then you bring them down for the Igbos that can afford to bring them in large quantity, and then they start selling them to you, or the Yorubas that can afford it But we know that the Igbos are bringing huge amount of such, or probably maybe people like other big player that brings this solar panel. Whether they are substandard is a different thing. Whether they are standard is a different thing. But why do we have all these university engineers? Is because, again, Nigeria do not have the capacity. We don't have the industry to build it. Because you can't just say, I will build a solar panel when you don't have the industry. You must have, the industry or industries, scattered across the country where you can say, oh, okay, your final year as an engineer, go to Koikimedia industry where he produces solar panel and work with them for 1 year. Let them know how you can make things much more cheaper. And, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So a lot of you today, you wake up, your phone is going very flat. Then you have to go to the next door neighbor and say, "Eba, me charge the phone in 2023." Or you end up buy power bank. I have power bank as well, but I only use it when I'm outside. And I'll show you my power bank. I will never use it in the house because this is my own power bank as a journalist, so that when I'm outside, I can guarantee that even if my phone goes low after a few hours and I can't get to McDonald's and recharge, Mukir Aziz, because I can go out and my phone is running dead. I can either charge on the public transport, some of them have the access, or I can easily just, go to any shop like the McDonald's, KFC. I don't have to buy anything. I'll just sit and I'll recharge my phone. And if I don't want to do that, that means I have these powerful power bank, two of them. I have the smaller one and I have the big one. And this will equip me. This is the renewable. My iPhone that I use, it might be on TikTok, it automatically have a built-in power pack, which I use with it. So this iPhone is also built in. I just bought this, not recently. So it allows me to also have extra power. That is part of the technology that we have today. So the question then is, we hear Nigerian professor speaking grammar, but they cannot build a single power bank. What is the essence of this? Is because Nigeria is not prepared for you. So let's move swiftly. The Electricity Act of 2023 aims to factor in and harmonize all the legislation in Nigeria electricity supply industry, as well as to establish a strong institutional framework to oversee the Nigerian electricity supply industry post-privatization operations while promoting private sector investment sector. The state power over electricity, the national demonopolization of electricity generation, transmission, and distribution in Nigeria empowers the state, businesses, individuals to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. State can award licenses to private investors to operate what they call mini grid and power plant within their borders in Ijebu-Ode, in Songo, in Ilaro, in Ekiti, in Ondo, in Osun, in Ibadan. So that means that what they're saying is that Molilamu investors or to change the Electricity Act, we start doing consultation. In Alosi conference, be seminar that has to do with electricity. then I'll convince them, let's just go and invest a small grid. But one thing some of you don't understand is that by the time power change again, all this can be stopped. All these, as good as you might think, can be stopped. I'm not going to waste too much of my energy on that. I'm just giving you an idea of what it means. Or let me put it this way, even if it's not stopped, we know that the politics in Nigeria means that it's bitter. Èmi á lọ mú investor wá nísìn pé ọmọ àwọn tó wà ní Ìjẹ̀bú Òde ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n gan wọn níná. Màá convince investor and okay, Koiki, are you sure? Yeah. All right, let's go and invest. Àwọn á gbowó wọn wá, I don't know, $10 million or whatever. Àwa lọ sọ́dọ̀ Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún. Màá sọ fún Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún pé àkọ́kọ́ fi gba commission tiẹ̀. We know that they're all criminals anyway. And come out worry for commission. We saw it with Ganduje Babariga. We will now set up this small grid. Ìwọ tó ń gbé ní Ìjẹ̀bú, wàá máa sanwó fèmí àti investor. I ma provide enough for him. Do you know that ìjọ tí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún bá ti kúrò níbẹ̀ tọ́nà that governor bá dé, gbogbo wàhálà tí a ṣe yẹn, they can cancel it. That has been the problem in Nigeria. So as good as it is, like, this is why they are concerned about state police, because state police means that governor ló máa ní ọlọ́pàá yẹn, èyí tó bá wọn ló lè fi ṣe. So we have had a situation in a country, ìyẹn láti sọ pé tá bá ní sovereignty tiwa, all this is not going to happen. Òfin tá bá ti fi sílẹ̀ náà ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Gbogbo òfin tí Tinubu ń ṣe nísìn is just for 4 years. After 4 years, the new government will be crazy and they will do their own thing. And that becomes like every 4 years. The next person comes. Even if it's on the state level, we are seeing that play out at the moment, maybe not in the Southwest. And the reason why Tiko Tishel in the Southwest, watching play monopoly in the Southwest, apart from Oyo State nìkan ni ó wà láàrin àwọn governors tó kù, because it's a PDP state. Assuming pé ìjọ tí PDP bá gba Lagos mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́, if we are still in Nigeria, what do you think is going to happen? Why do you think they don't want PDP to get there? Because wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí monopoly tó ń play lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yẹn, wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kó change. Ìjọ tó bá change, why do you think people don't want Peter Obi to win Lagos State? Because the UNMOC will definitely, apart from people are saying that there's another hidden agenda, all that is just fabu. Everybody knows that even as Sanwo-Olu is there, is as corrupt as anything else. But they're not going to tell you they are corrupt. But if government change, as we have seen it in the north, we see what is playing out in Kano. Ganduje lost. Anything Ganduje fẹ́ fi síbẹ̀, òun kọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀. So they lost. Imagine now, gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń rí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kano, Sokoto àti Benue. Let me use those 3 states. Tó bá yẹ pé power sector náà nísìn ni investor kan dé síbẹ̀ tí Ganduje lọ mú wá, do you think that the new governor will continue with that project? Start thinking like that. The Southwest is because our actually play these affirm politicians. I mean, okay, power change hand as well in Osun State. So we now have Adeleke as the governor. On praise and worship. I don't see what he's doing. All I see is that every day he's dancing, he's praising and worship, while Osun people are living in abject poverty. That is all I can say, because all I say all the time with him and Dele Momodu is that they're just dancing, praise and worship, praise and worship. I don't even think he lives in the state. I think he spent more time in a hotel and Lagos than Osun State. These governors should not leave their state for any reason. State in Wagba, live there, work there, and do as much to build a society, an environment, SDG goals, that can save our people. But so when power change, especially in Lagos State, what do you think is going to happen? It breaks that monopoly. That is why they would die from not letting Lagos to go out of the vicinity of those that are in charge. Because till Lagos by losing that, it breaks that monopoly. So that is about it for the sustainable goal on that. Because I only have a few more minutes to go. The next one is number 8. Promote inclusive, sustainable economic growth, employment. You can say that as smile, and decent work for all. The average Nigeria, I'm asking those of you, if you're listening right now, or those of you that will watch it later, the average Nigeria, I mean, just put it there in the comment section. The average Nigeria, what is the basic? I'm not talking about trying to find a job in Dangote, you're not going to get a job. Trying to find a job in Tonelemelu, UBA, you're not going to get it. In First Bank, getting the basic job, then tell me. Because according to number 8, SDG, it says that your government must provide and promote inclusive, sustainable economic growth. Kill me by economic growth. That one is dead, gone already. There's nothing called economic growth in Nigeria. Toban drew the economic growth of Nigeria. My mom also waited for the economic growth of Nigeria. Imagine from 1980 up to 1990, that was 10 years. At 1991, my mom decided it was time for her to leave. Imagine somebody that has been operating with $100,000, $160,000. My mom lost $20,000 in UK in the 80s. Traveler check. But the last order she did was $60,000, like I said. But I'm asking those of you today now, Nigerians, whether you're a businesswoman, whether I know a lot of you are hardworking, you're trying, to survive. Genuinely, I'm not talking about the criminal ones among you that wants to kill and do 419 and scam people. But the average layman, killing the basic job that you're doing. Do you think that the economy, some of you don't need dollar to operate anyway, so as long as you don't have to do any business that involves dollar. I've given you a kind of what it's going to cost you. To bá fẹ́ send owó láti Nigeria wá sí UK, 1,065. Tó bá yẹ kó fẹ́ ra Koiki, mo rí kankan lórí company kan ní UK ní kí nìkan náà àwọn náà kọ́ máa ń ta àwọn whatever it is, and you want to buy from here. Ṣé mọ̀ pé náírà ni wọ́n fi operate this naira? I'm not talking from the economic growth, because even China, let's say China economy growth. China economy has grown by 6.3%. China economy grew a lower than expected, and this is just by ABC News, by 6.3% in the second quarter as the COVID recovery slowed. And this was put together by the ABC News. I can share that with you again so that in case, Adekunle Ramon, good morning to you. We're just about 20 minutes. If I don't finish this, I will come back and do the rest some other time, because at 6 o'clock, we're going to end the program. So I just want to share that with you. Trash collectors make a fortune and good wages. Yes, I know that because I used to have a license that allows me to collect such in UK when I was having my shop some 10 years ago. So let me quickly read this. According to the ABC News, China has reported its economy grew at a 6.3% annual pace in the second quarter. Let's look at Nigeria economy because the Nigerian economic growth. You want me to read it out? Oh boy. I pity those of you at home. I don't think some of you understand the danger you are in. I'm going to share that on the comment section. And I'll put that out on my Facebook as well. Some of you will cry. Jesus is not going to help you. So if you're waiting for Jesus to help you, or Anabi Muhammad or our tradition, you're bloody wasting your time. I'm also going to post it on my Facebook channel. Mori Yawafunke Alaje, thank you so much. I just spotted you right now. So we're just 15 minutes before the end of the program. I know it's about 12 midnight in America, Canada, Nigeria is the same time with me. So on my timeline, and I'll put that as well on Twitter. So, and I'll read it out in a minute. So I'm just posting it now so that in case anybody access Lati. So let's post that out. We're still on the SDG goals for Nigeria. So if you think that the new government will change anything, Yemi Fatoke Mokibubo Igarawo in Lagos Island, Intajamoki Mokibubu 191 local government in Yoruba land. Moki Musulome, Moki Christian. Happy New Week. Ajagbewa as we start in Yojo Aje. But with the economic situation in Nigeria, I can only say Ajagbewa. But I know that is just a norm to say. But in reality, some of you are waking up, don't have 1,000 naira in your pocket. Even those of you that are watching us, I can only just say, I don't know how you make it. I know you want to keep up, but it's just too expensive. So let me move swiftly because of the time. I think I should post it on the Twitter as well. So that, remember to have a Twitter account, very, very important. There's a lot of engagement going on there. Mukiyawa Awura _ Yorubanimi. She's always posting every blessed day. Hashtag Yoruba Lives Matter. Hashtag Yoruba Nation. Thank you so much, those of you on the TikTok as well. Once again, my name is Olami Koiki. One out of the so many Yoruba people that believe our sovereignty is the right thing now. And that is the reason why we are saying we want to be out of Nigeria. So let's come back now quickly to Nigerian economy. According to the real GDP growth, has literally fallen to 3.3% in 2022. Could rise on 4. And the reason for that is this is becoming strain on strain. I don't want to stop this one. I only have one, so I'm trying to save it for my presentation all the time. So this money becomes the value because kò ní any production tó ń ṣe tá ń ta síta tó ń fún wa lélẹ̀ padà. So it is the diaspora money that is coming back, which is about 40 billion or thereabout, if not a little bit less. Gbogbo diaspora tó wà káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, we are sending this money home, whether it is the dollar or whether it is the pounds, it does not matter. So when we send this home, it's helping the Nigerian government, apart from the revenue from the crude oil, the revenue from the taxes from different corporate organizations that are operating in the fraudulent country called Nigeria. So in 2022, the growth ditch, kí ló ń pè ní grow, ìdàgbàsókè, kí nǹkan máa wá sókè, kàkà kó wá sókè, ó ń lọlẹ̀ sí ni. So the longer tí Nigeria bá ń lọlẹ̀, ó ń affect me, ó ń affect ìwọ. And everything I'm saying is also affecting me as somebody outside the territory, because I got a call from my family yesterday. One of the more, When I say my family, I have a lot of family, so not literally one. Mommy, because that's what I told them. Anytime they bring the electricity bill, they should let me know. More from 7,005, somewhere around, Ogun State. I don't want to go too much in details. Not literally that I give them electricity, which is under the SDG goal number 7, but one mobile wa fún wọn. Ọmọ mi wọ́n ti mobile wa, èlò ni mọ́mì 7,005. Ọlọ́run àpèsè tó bá dé àárín ọ̀sẹ̀, àsẹ̀ǹdẹ̀ sí yín. Does not mean that they give her electricity anyway, but they keep bringing the bill. 7,005 is a lot of money for many Nigerians. As at last month, it was 67,000. Wow. Show wo náà nìyẹn. Ẹ bá mi fi comment and say padà again. Thank you so much on the TikTok. So now, reading further, from 3.6%. So even in 2021, the economic growth in Nigeria, these are the reason why we are asking for Yoruba nation. Not because Fulani power. Can you come up with Fulani power? Fulani don't power, and we can deal with them when we have our own sovereignty. But people don't want us to deal with them by remaining in Nigeria where the economic growth is ditching. In 2021, when I came to Nigeria, the economic growth was 3.6%. Even Tiko Batewa Losi, okay, a lot of us were praying that this money will not reach 1,000. 1,000 is saying. The economic growth in Nigeria in 2021 was 3.6%. In 2022 last year, or half by 3%, or lost 3.3%, precipitated mainly by a decline in oil production, which is the only major revenue in Nigeria. When you, as a Nigerian, you are the brain that should provide money for the country, but they must first provide the enabling environment. That is the amount that was given to a house in Lagos, Eshegoni. A house in Lagos got 67,000 naira NEPA bill. Salary. Do you know that about 67,000 a month in Nigeria is a lot? Thank you so much, those of you on the TikTok. Some of you that keep abusing me because my views about Nigeria is not the kind of views you want to hear. You want me to be like, I don't want to mention, my friend because it looks like I'm putting him on the spot, but I'm sure you know the one on the, channels. You want me to be like him. Just brings people, we talk about Nigeria, okay, and then we go. Then I dress in suit. Then I sit down in the studio. Then I talk. That's what you want. I don't want to talk like that. That country is dead. Koshe revive. The game that they are playing is just to keep your mind away from the reality. Even àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ wo Titanic, the submersible, ó padà sank náà ni. Titanic cannot be brought back up. Maybe for now, because it need that kind of technology. They visited the place so many times, but they can't bring it back up. Just as so many Oyinbo people will continue to visit Nigeria, I'm talking about foreigners. They will tell you all kind of things that they can do in Nigeria to make it survive. But globally, the projection is that the country is dead. And I'll give an example. You see the America will say, we are doing some project in Anambra State, sustainable this, sustainable that, this, that. China will say the same thing. You see all these embassies. I'm sure some of you rapport with them. You see them on the news. They are doing their little bit. But because each time I go into the OEC, that gives us the total import. If we stopped importation of American bringing vehicle to Nigeria, it will affect the Americans or the American government. How many people knows that? Tabas of America, no more importation of your vehicle into Nigeria. Do you know how much revenue they're going to lose? If we tell countries around the world that we're not importing your cars, but your politicians don't want that. They're not going to buy the local vehicle. They prefer the Toyota. They prefer the vehicles from outside, the Obokoloye, the bulletproof. This is what is going to make our economy to grow. Maybe you don't know that. For every time Tiboban send a was in Nigeria, I am also not helping the country. For every time that I decide that I am sending anything to sell in Nigeria, I am not helping the country. Later, I can make money out of it, but literally, I am not helping you, including myself. Because I, as a media person, as an example, we should be able to employ people in Nigeria for production, not for me to buy the finished goods and send it to Nigeria to sell, whether it's a brand new, whether it's a second hand. So going back quickly, this led to the 5% shrinkage, SHRINKAGE, in the overall industry. Let me read that again. In 2021, we had 3.6% growth. Tó bá tẹ̀jẹ́ pé wọ́n jẹ́ kó lọ́lẹ̀ kó wà ní 3.6. Nígbà tó máa di 2022 last year, growth gbogbo Nigeria pátápátá, the whole populous black nation, the brain people power of the Africa, the this, that, the growth was okay. Because why? Hey, produce anything. Nobody factored the reality that a country that is not producing, the strain on this, that means that Lano, I made inquiries, but Tibafi send the 200,000 wasi UK, Eluloma Fumi, at 1,070, you will receive 187 pounds. Tibafi Dapada against in Nigeria, it will be 199,000 at 165. That means pay on show 1 jerry for 5 naira. It's not helping the country. So for years, you're right, Jerry, on TikTok, the government knew that the only way we can push Nigerians to be productive is to have factories, cluster of factories everywhere across the country in the last 24 years, in the last 63 years of democracy. But the military preferred to allow the West to dump all their produce into Nigeria. Go to Apapa and see the amount of ship that are landing every day with finished goods. Titikon Sardine, when Ondo State, Ijo people that we are told that fishing is their business, they can pull out the fish, we can turn it into sardine, we can package it, sell it out. It gives the strength of the Naira bigger. But rather, everybody wants to eat the sardine from Europe. Do you know that the panla that the Yoruba people eat a lot is from Norway? Maybe you don't know that. Panla tenje lojojumo ton fi sinu mama put to tilon jeun yen. You are also not helping because panla ton je yen ko se no Nigeria lo tin se. Panla ton je yen Norway lo tin gbe bo. It travels far. So this is the reason why the economy is not growing. So this led to the 5% shrinkage in the overall industry, which was the offset by expansion in the services to 7% and agriculture to 2%. Now, let's quickly look at the news. Routers. If you don't know what is router, R-E-U-T-E-R-S. When you read anything from routers, it's confirmed. Routers, they call them routers at the AFP. May 24, Nigeria GDP growth slows, S-O-S-L-O-W-S. Ó mọ̀ pé tó bá wà nínú traffic, kí ló fa traffic yìí bá Monday? Àwọn kan tó wà nínú traffic báyìí ní Bega, Ọ̀tẹ̀dọ́lá, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Benin Ọ̀rẹ́, traffic oríṣiríṣi is because kò sí good road. Tá bá ṣe software later during the day. China just launched, I posted it yesterday. I don't know whether I did on the Twitter, but I did post it on Facebook. China just launched the fastest bullet train in the world. What should she testing a land on it? Well, I watched it yesterday. I don't know whether it was yesterday that they launched it. The fastest bullet train was launched by China. I've downloaded a video. I will share it with us during the software program. We will not go further than this. So we've stopped at number 8. So that might be SDG goals. And this is related to our Ekiti State. We continue with Ekiti State from this week again. I've linked it to all Nigerians, to all the 36 states, including the FCT. But most importantly, Fenyamo Ekiti. According to routers, which is going to be my last from these. Yeah, China launched the fastest bullet train. America Otini. Nino fastest train here, Oktubabe tunnel koja, abe tunnel apata. Let me see the speed. I posted it yesterday. You can talk our routers and then I'll end the program because it's exactly 6 o'clock and I don't want to go too much further than that. My name is Alani Koiki. This is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. As I continue to use my platform to educate as many of you on reason why the Yoruba sovereignty is now, yeah, I've got it right here. The fastest train in the world was tested in China. The maximum speed of the CR450 train was 453 kilometers per hour. Engineers noted that during the actual operation, the speed will be reduced to about 400 kilometers per hour once in service. The CR450 will be the world's fastest bullet train, taking around 2.5 hours to travel between Beijing and Shanghai, almost twice as fast as it is now. I pity a lot of you. Mukimomi Wabalanle, Baba today. Emeka Paromolong, Ọlọ́run ti fún wa ní brain power, Ọlọ́run ti fún wa ní ìmọ̀, Ọlọ́run máa ṣe yẹn is just the rhetorics. Our politicians are the cause of the reason why we are still where we are today. We stop them, we get a Yoruba sovereignty. We don't stop them, Ọlọ́run sọ̀kalẹ̀ wá anywhere. We have the resources, we have the brain power, we have the most often pé ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú kan wà ní UK tọ́nú ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ tó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ when it comes to surgeon. Wọ́n náà máa ń búkẹ̀ láti inú ilé ẹ̀ ní. Bó dé UK ní Sọtiralé is from, well, yeah, Ogun State. Ìjẹ̀bú náà lọ pé. Àná lọ́sẹ̀ sọ dé fún mi. But mo ní sọ bí tó wà ní UK in terms of location-wise for his own safety. That is the brain power that left Southwest to make living here and help humanity. The fastest train in the world is now in operation. Imagine how many engineers put that structure together. America Otini is the fastest bullet train, over 2 times faster than Itowa and Betelelo. It will only take now 2.5 hours to travel between Beijing and Shanghai. So, Tiba Fishe meeting in Shanghai, Timodewa ni Beijing, I'll just buy the ticket. Boom, 2.5 hours. I'll be midebe, my meeting matukwara. And this is what we are saying to our people, based on the topic this morning, as I wrap it up from the last part of the router. Abuja, May 24, router, Nigeria annual economic growth rate is no longer even 3.3%, like I told you. Otutu drops to 2.3. Last year was 3.3. 2021 was 3.6. It is now 2.3 in the first quarter. Tobani quarter, that's the first 6 months. Oh, no, the first 3 months. Yeah, quarter, yeah. January, February, March. IT day, the end of the year, the Nigerian economy has become 2.3% slower. Oh, buy invest the West in Nigeria. You will not get the returns because the money has been devalued. You can secure things there just to keep you going. But every money that you have now is being stressed out. In the first quarter, data show on Wednesday, hot by a government plan to swap the old banknote for the newly designed ones that disrupted the trade and payment. The GDP data came hours before the central bank interest rate announcement, and next week's swearing in of Tinubu, which he has now spent 43 or 44 days. They keep saying is the Africa's largest economy, which in the nutshell is because the gigantic view from outside. But in reality, it is the African biggest economy, but it doesn't provide food for the African people like you. So what is the essence of this largest economy that cannot provide food for its people? My name is Olami Koiki. Have a very good morning, and I'll be back whenever I see you again. Shalom.